my YouTube channel. My name is Oluwa Shindara Layemi, and this is my YouTube channel, Shindara's Voice. On this channel, I talk about faith, career, relationships, lifestyle, and every other good stuff. So basically, I love to learn and share. And if this is your first time of watching my videos, thank you so much. Namaste. And if you're a subscriber already, thank you very much for subscribing. Please extend your love by sharing my videos. Don't forget to like, share, and if you have not subscribed, really, just subscribe. It really doesn't take anything. It doesn't cost any amount. Just subscribe. I love meaning. You see all those people that used to say, oh, subscribe, oh, I love your YouTube channel, have you watched? No, Loriro. Like, really, you people should just alright. So today I'm going to be talking about how to predict interview questions. Yes, I know that one of the scariest things when you get that mail saying that you are invited for an interview is to begin to ponder. So what are they going to ask me? What am I supposed to prepare for? How am I supposed to even appear there? I know that a lot of times you are scared about what the interview questions is going to look like, and you're so clueless, and really this really brings down your confidence, and lack of confidence makes you to fail an interview. And one of the things that really reduces your confidence is lack of preparation. So if you prepare well to boost your confidence, and most of the time you're going to pass the interview. Kabish, really the best interviews are conversations, and once you're prepared, you can have a conversation with the person. Yes, I said the best interviews are conversation. Write that down. So I'm going to quickly share with you 5 ways to predict interview questions. And let me just tell you, when you are done watching this video, I bet you're going to ace your next interview if you follow these steps. Follow the steps, Nimo. So alright, for my non-Yoruba subscribers, follow the steps. That's just basically what. So I'm going to be telling you 5 ways to predict interview questions. So the first one is use the job title. Yes, use the job title. Like, the job titles are like the first way to predict interview questions. So for instance, there's no job that you're going to get without having a job title, whether it's dispatch rider, or it's office cleaner, office assistant, human resource assistant, product manager, electrical engineering manager. Do you get, like, there's always a job title, right? So know what the job title entails, like what is expected of this job title. For example, if I have a managerial role, like let's say a product manager or an electrical manager, the first thing is that you're supposed to be able to manage people, work with teams. You're supposed to be able to get productive feedback, and also coach and mentor people. Like, these are core skills of a manager. So you should be expecting questions that relates with tell me about a time you mentored a team member, tell me about a time you managed performance, tell me about a time you get, because it's a manager for a reason. That's why it's called a manager. It's supposed to manage people, right? Manage resources. So that those are the kind of questions you have in that line. If you're a human resource assistant, that you're supposed to support. Do you get? So, like, what the job title says, and even if you're going to now go on search engine, you know what kind of likely questions to ask, because you already have an idea of what the job title is. So the first way to predict interview questions are through the job title. When you have a job title, you can guess the kind of questions that are going to be asked. Next one I'm going to talk about is the industry. Like, every industry has its own way or pattern at which they ask questions. Like, for example, if you are going for a role in a human resource role in an FMCG and in a logistics firm, there are 2 different questions, because like the operations of an FMCG is different from the operations of a logistics firm. Even if it's a manufacturing firm, they are going to FMCG and manufacturing are 2 different things, because manufacturing, yes, FMCG, you will say obviously FMCG, they are also producing food. Manufacturing, they're also producing something, right? But then a high tension wire or a cable company that produces cable or electricals, and a company that produces food, they're going to do 2 different things. So a human resource manager in that organization, for example, a human resource manager in a food firm might be dealing with a lot of food science technicians, food scientists, food technicians, and all of that. While in a logistics firm, we're dealing with couriers, which most definitely or most likely might be like SSE holders, or even SSE holders, yes, OND holders. OND is even better. Sometimes SSE actually, because couriers actually most times SSE holders. And then the way you're going to manage them, the way you're going to deal with them is going to be different. So they're going to be job that has to do with how will you manage illiterates, how will you manage people who are not up to par, how do you work on performance for people who are usually on the road. Because if it is a factory worker, you can go into the factory and like watch them, right? But someone that is on the road, how do you deal with them? Those are likely questions. So the industry is also a way to predict interview questions. Another one is the job description. Like, I know that a lot of people just look at job description and just keep it aside, and they don't even open it till the interview day. Like, your job description is something you're supposed to swim in, eat, feed, rely on, because that job description can actually give you clue about what to expect in an interview. So now, job descriptions are into 4 parts. There's the overview. The overview is what tells you the role purpose. Basically, just as the name implies, the overview of the job. It helps you to know what the job is expected to do, and that way you can actually form interview questions from that. Now, going down, you see the roles and responsibilities. That way, it tells you the day-to-day on the operational activities on that role, what you're going to be doing. I use that to even prepare CV sometimes. I use that to prepare my CV sometimes, because you have to be able to articulate your achievements to what they're expecting you to do on that role. That's by the way. So you can actually set behavioral questions and situational questions and form your stories around what is in the job description. So for example, the job description says that you should be able to provide analytical reports monthly. Now you can tell you that how do you perform, or tell me about the time you provided reports. Tell me about the time you did a report that saved the team. You can now talk about how you were always writing reports that would now provide inferences to ascertain decisions or to speculate good decisions. Do you get? So you can actually set your questions. You can actually produce questions as regards the job description. Now we're talking about roles and responsibilities as the second part. The third part of a job description is the third part of a job description is the qualification. So for every role there's a qualification. If they want a 3 years experience person, someone that has VSc, someone that has a 2-1 age, do you get? So that way also, if you're saying you have MSc, you have to be able to prove how you have MSc. Like, do you understand? So the qualifications of the thing. If you're saying that you have 4 or 5 years experience, they should be able to see experience in what you're talking about. They should be able to see, they ask you questions that when you're saying that they want someone that has 8 years experience, it's not being. So when you talk about you should stop applying for jobs that have 10 years experience and you just have 2, stop applying for it, because they expect that you should have a level of experience or expertise on the role. If they tell you to tell me about the time where you were able to solve so and so thing, and you're just starting your career, you've not even solved anything. Do you understand? They will tell you about experience tools, design tools, what are the best tools you like to use. Those are things that experience will give you. See, no matter how smart you are on a role, you cannot beat experience. Experience just gives you a level of expertise that smartness or fast learning might not give you. Now the next part, the last part, is usually desirables. In some places is wish list. I've seen wish list, I've seen desirables, I've seen requirements. These are like qualifications and these are like skills and competencies, and then some other things that are probably not important but could be an added advantage. So for instance, and if you see skills and competencies in a job description, swim in it. See, for me, that's like one of the places that I love to ask my situational and behavioral questions. One of the places I love to ask my situational and behavioral questions, because you say that you're a team player. Tell me about the time you managed the team. You say you're very good in communications and presentation. Tell me about the time you presented something that wowed the team. You say that you're very good at conflict resolution. Tell me about the time you dealt with with conflict between a team. Or tell me about the time you adapt to a new change. Tell me about the time you were able to deal with an irate customer. Do you understand? So like, the skills and competencies are also a very good way to predict interview questions. That it gives you clues to how to predict an interview question. See, if you can form a question based on every skills and competency you see in your job description, even if they don't ask the exact question in the interview, you have an idea of how to respond to the question that is being asked, because they're really going to ask you. Like, they're going to ask you. I'm giving you that for sure. Now that's about job description. I already spoke about use your job title. I spoke about the industry. I spoke about job description. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is resume. Yes, your resume. Like, your resume is one way to get interview question, especially when you're an entry-level professional, when you're just entering into the system. Your CV is like, I know when people say, oh, I don't have job experience at all, this is my first job, what kind of questions am I supposed to predict, or what kind of questions am I supposed to expect? Your CV will give you 1001 questions, because that's what you have to be able to understand. I know that a lot of times there are a lot of third-party CV writers, like I do that also, I write CVs for people, and then but you have to make sure that you understand You understand what is in the CV. So when I write CV for people, I ask people, do you understand? Can you, I don't even, that's why I just revamp CVs. I don't change it completely that you will not even understand what is in the CV again. You just revamp, because you have to be able to relate to what you wrote. So you wrote about having emotional intelligence. You don't even know what emotional intelligence is. Do you get, like, and I'm breaking some tables. Like, you need to be able to understand everything in your CV. So there's a work gap, there's a gap in your CV. How do you explain that gap? What happened during that gap? That's really a question. And I already did a video about gaps, how to explain gaps in CV, employment gaps in CVs. I'm going to put the link somewhere, you can watch it. I also spoke about how to answer interview questions. You can also check out that. So your resume is a way. I mean, you wrote about skills and competencies in your resume, right? I wrote about abilities and all of that. You have to talk about that. You wrote about your achievements on the role. You said you met 80% of the target in Q1, right? How did you achieve that? You should be able to defend that with stories and the STAR approach. I told you to watch my interview videos where I spoke about how to answer with the STAR approach. So that way you can be able to explain what is in your CV. So your CV, your resume, is one way to predict interview questions. Know everything in your CV and attach a story to it. Now, spot on the list is ask. Just ask. I know you will say, hello, I'm in Nigeria. Hello, I'm an African. How do I ask? Recruiters are so rude. They won't even respond to me. What's the worst that can happen? That's my slang for this year. What is actually the worst that can happen? They will not respond to you. There are a lot of recruiters that are nice. I tell people that a nice hiring manager is the normal. The abnormal is that they are not nice. The abnormal is that they are rude. That's the abnormal. But then we've made our abnormal the normal. So a recruiter is supposed to, you're already nervous, you're already tensed. The worst that can happen is for them to not make it worse for you, right? So just ask. And I'm not saying that you should ask with the opinionated or with the mindset that they must answer you. No, they're doing you a favor also, right? You could just ask, oh, so someone called you and said you expected to have an interview. What should I expect? Do you mind telling me some things to expect? They'll say, okay, I'm going to be asking you a behavioral question. Okay, this is just an assessment center. Okay, this is just, do you get, it's just a panel interview, more to just prepare and all of that. Do you get, like, it's nothing hard. Just ask. They might respond to you, they might not respond to you. I know some other times you just get emails from no reply. Do you get, and you really cannot even ask them because you cannot send a mail back to the email address. In that case, ask another recruiter that you know, ask an hiring manager that you know. Just message someone on LinkedIn to say, okay, I'm having an interview, I'm having this particular kind of interview, what do you think I should expect? They'll just tell you some little things to expect. So another way is to ask. Asking the recruiter, asking other recruiters around or other hiring managers around can help you to predict some likely interview questions. I hope I really helped you to know some ways to like dissect interviews and go around interviews. I hope I really answered just one person. I hope that you find this very helpful and you can now do better with your interviews. So I'm actually saying this from the angle of a recruiter. I recruit people. I'm a human resource professional. I'm talking from the angle of someone that prepares people for interview. I prepare a lot of people for interview. I conduct mock interview for people to release the tension. And then I'm also a job seeker myself. Probably when they finish on this one, right? You always want more. So I also go for interviews, and to the glory of God, most of the time, like 99% of the time, even if I don't get the job, I'm always the next candidate or the most needed candidate or just something. Do you get? So I know that I'm very good at interviews also. So these are the things that have helped me over time, and these are the ways that as a recruiter also I look for questions to ask my candidates. Do you get? And a lot of times also you can also go on search engines, find out likely questions and prepare. Let me tell you something, interviews are not so tough as you expect. Only thing you need to do is to prepare. Once you prepare, the level of confidence increases. Prepare in front of the mirror, speak with somebody, do you get, rehearse and research about the company. Research about the company is just already one question. There are already some questions that you know that they're going to ask you. Tell me about yourself. They're going to ask you. What salary are you expecting? Most of the time they might ask you about the company. They might ask you. So like those are already some questions that they just give you for free. It's most of the time behavioral questions that you need to now practice. And if you use every of these steps I told you, you'll be able to predict your questions. And you know what? Even if those questions don't come out exactly like you predicted, they always come as in relation to what you predicted, and you'll be able to answer them the way you're supposed to answer them. I hope this really helped you. If you have not subscribed at this point, I know that you learned something from this video, so now go and subscribe. Thank you for watching to the end. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with someone that needs it. And till the next time I come bearing gifts, a word of wisdom, remain blessed. I love you so much. Bye.